Hello, welcome to the negotiations section of the ULV Justice Center website. Glad to have you. For a disclaimer, the information provided on this site is not legal advice, but is provided for informational purposes only. If you are in need of legal advice, we advise you to consult with an attorney. Overview of the legal process. Where am I in this process? Negotiations are an important part of the legal process. It is rarely a good idea to take a case to trial. Trials are long, expensive, tiring, emotional, and the outcome is uncertain. You might pour your entire life into a case just to lose and possibly have to pay the other side's court costs and attorney fees. You should be looking to settle your case early and often. The sooner you settle, the sooner you can get on with your life. This process should continue all the way until trial. What is the purpose of this step? The purpose of this step is to help you achieve an agreement between you and the other parties in the case. It is an opportunity for you to resolve your disputes with the other person without going to trial. Negotiation describes any communication process between people that is intended to reach a compromise or agreement to the satisfaction of both parties. If a negotiation or settlement cannot be reached, then the case would continue to go to trial in order to settle the conflict in court. All communications used to try to settle the case are not allowed to be brought up in court unless it is to enforce a written agreement. What do I need to accomplish during this step? Negotiation involves examining the facts of the situation, deciding whether the other person involved is willing to negotiate, thinking about both common and opposite interests of the people involved, and discussing how to resolve as many issues as possible. This is when you can give and take on different things from both parties in order to satisfy both parties' interests. Once you have finished, the deal is put in writing and the plaintiff files a notice of dismissal to dismiss the case. Who to send it to? If a deal has been made, in order to finish the negotiation process, you must file a notice of dismissal to the court. This is also the stage to put the agreement in writing and send it to the other party involved to make sure you and them are on the same page and they know what they need to accomplish. When to send/file this. You must send/file notice of dismissal to the court right away. If you have a trial scheduled within 10 days, each party must give an oral notice to the court that an agreement has been met. How do I send/file this? When your case is settled, you must file the written notice of dismissal to the court by sending it through mail or take it to the court to file. What is the timeline of and what is expected to happen? Once the lawsuit has been filed, you can try to settle and negotiate at any point during the legal process, as long as it's before the final court orders. Before you start to negotiate with the other person involved, make sure you answer the question on whether you should be negotiating and do some research on the conflict that occurred. Like, what was the conflict? What is the history of the conflict? And who's involved? If you have decided to move forward with negotiating, and if the other individual agrees to meet, set a limited time to meet face to face. Prepare what they are likely to ask. If they agree to start to negotiate, you can start to engage with them and start negotiating. After you have gone back and forth with the other party, this is also the time to decide if you either need to make adjustments to the agreement or move forward if the negotiation process is giving positive feedback. If you decide to not meet with the other party to negotiate in person, it is still best to go back and forth until you reach onto terms that you can both agree to. If you have decided to agree on certain terms, the next step is to tell the court by filing a notice of dismissal. Once you have informed the court and you have exchanged the written agreement you have decided on with the other party, now you can start fulfilling what you agreed to do as well. But if you have not reached an agreement, then you will have to continue the lawsuit. Forms and templates. The negotiations worksheet. The purpose of this form is to help you follow along with the video and help you understand possible difficult legal terms that are shown on this page. The information needed to complete this form is the information on this website and the video included at the top of the page. You can access this form at the top of the page by clicking the Negotiations Worksheet button. By clicking on the button, it will take you to the link for the worksheet. Once you have completed this form, it can help you better understand the negotiations process. Settlement Letter Template. The purpose of this letter is to notify the other party that you are open to negotiating. The information needed to complete this form is the facts of your case and what you are willing to agree upon. You can access this form at the bottom of the page by clicking the Settlement Letter Template button. By clicking the button, it will give you access to the settlement letter template. Resources to help you fill out this form would be your family law facilitator. Once you have written up a settlement letter, you can send it to the other party involved. The Settlement Agreement Template. The purpose of this template is to settle any sort of disputes in your case. It will express the terms of your agreement. The information needed to complete this form is the information involving your case and what you are willing to agree upon. You can access this form at the bottom of this page by clicking the Settlement Agreement Template button. By clicking the button, it will give you access to the settlement letter template. Resources to help you fill out this form would also be your family law facilitator. Once you have written up the settlement agreement, you can send it to the other party involved. Notice of Settlement. The purpose of this form is to notify the court that your case has been settled. The information needed to complete this form includes the information regarding your case. You can access this form at the bottom of the page by clicking the button labeled Notice of Settlement or on the california.ca.gov website. Once you complete this form, you must file it with your court. Request for dismissal. The purpose of this form is to dismiss your lawsuit once you are done with the lawsuit. Whether you have reached a judgment or settlement, you use this form to let the court know your lawsuit has ended. The information needed to complete this form includes the information on how your lawsuit has come to an end and the general information about whoever is filing the request for dismissal form. You can access this form at the bottom of the page by clicking the button labeled Request for Dismissal or on the california.ca.gov website. Resources to help you fill out this form would be your family law facilitator. Once you complete this form, you must file it with your court. This has been an overview of the case management section of the law on behalf of the ULV Justice Center. We thank you for your time and hope this information is helpful in your legal matter.